This is show number 106, recorded February 18th, 2014. And yes, I did survive Snowmageddon here in Atlanta from last week. I know a lot of our listeners come from areas that get a lot more than 2 inches of snow and ice. So you kind of laugh at us down here. But the city did shut down for us.
Wow.
Again.
And yeah, the city did shut down for us again, and but I have 4-wheel drive, so I was able to drive around, bring people into work. I didn't miss a day of work.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, does my audio sound fine? Because Kaylee's
Sound fine to me.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So last week we did a show with Andy. Remember that? Remember Andy Bloxham? Was that last week?
Yes.
Yeah. And Andy is helping us. Andy is helping us to rethink a little bit of the photo contest that we do, the photo challenge that we do in the Facebook group every month. We're gonna do some tweaks with that. I'm not sure we're gonna have everything ready to tweak that for the February challenge. It may be something we start with the March one, but we're thinking about changing it up a little bit to make it a maybe a little bit fairer or just a little bit different from what we're doing. So we're working on a couple of changes there. Andy's giving us some feedback. Seth, Tim, Nikki, and Gina Perry are all contributing, and we're going to come up with a couple of changes there because that's such a great thing that everybody seems to enjoy, and we want to keep it going and keep it fair. So we appreciate you guys going out there and internet. And this month is HDR.
Woo!
We were going to do a little bit of HDR tonight. Maybe we'll do that next week. I don't know, because Seth dropped that on me last night, and I wasn't prepared to do anything tonight. So we'll do it next time. I do want to bring up one thing that you're going to say, Mike. How does this have anything to do with photography? And so I'll start off, and then you can all wonder that, and then I'll bring it back to photography. And it won't take too long. I won't take too long of this. Tim and Seth, I don't know where you get your internet from. I think you get yours from Verizon, Tim. Where do you get yours from, Seth?
AT&T.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have y'all heard about the Time Warner and Comcast merger?
Oh, yeah.
And
Of course.
Huh?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know, you right off the bat, you go, this is not a tech show. Why are you bringing that up, Mike? That's not anything to do with that. But I think, think about this. If you probably first think about your cable TV. That's going to be, it may be affected because they're going to do higher rates or less competition. But where you really need to be thinking about is your internet. And internet affects all of us photographers in the sense that, so the way we share a lot now,
Right.
It is, if you're using your website where you're uploading your photos, or if you're using CrashPlan, you're uploading your backups, like that kind of stuff.
Up.
You're watching videos on YouTube or Creative Live, or of course here, you're doing all this stuff, and the less competition we have out there, the worse it is. You hear me often talk about how I'm a PC fan, I'm a Nikon fan, and I give crap to the other side. But the reality is I don't want, as much as I am not an Apple fan, I want Apple to remain strong and continue on. And I want Canon and Sony and all those guys to continue on and be strong because those guys, competition is good for us as consumers.
It's good for the consumer.
Yes. And what I think we're going to see is as the competition gets less in the internet service provider section, or as somebody gets more power, they will then start. The first area they will come at is bandwidth caps. And they will start to, right now, I'm looking at my...
That's garbage. That's garbage, though.
Yeah. But they will, right? Looking at my bandwidth right now, what I used last month, or in the last 30 days, because I have a router that's just incredible, I can tell you. 728 gig. That's a lot.
Yes.
To put it in perspective, that's a lot, because a lot, and to put that in somewhat perspective, someplace like Charter and who I have, some of their other plans below the one I have, and Comcast have 250 gig limits, which would mean I'm almost 3 times their limit.
Wow.
And that's exactly where I say that they keep saying, you hear all the time, DVDs and Blu-rays are dead, and now you got 4K video coming. Mm-hmm. How is any of that ever going to get through if you're going to have bandwidth caps?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine it.
Well, so I know there's a lot of people out there who are not tech and don't want to spend too much time on this, but you know, where this is going to impact you is not just in photography. Like if you're a Netflix watcher, if you're a YouTube watcher, you know, a lot of those things, those eat up a lot of bandwidth. I was watching in preparation for my GoPro that's supposed to be coming soon. I was watching some 4K video on YouTube, and that stuff uses a massive amount of bandwidth. It's just like Tim was talking about with 4K, and you'll chew through your bandwidth really fast. And the service providers will tell you that they need to limit. They put a cap on it because there's people out there abusing it. I will tell you that is a there may be people out there abusing it, so that they're probably right there. But it is a lie for them to say that's why they do it. They do it. Yeah. They do it because they are
profiting.
They're wanting to. Yeah, they're wanting to charge you more for more bandwidth. That's why they're doing it. They have plenty of. They can handle plenty of streaming or that kind of stuff. They have plenty of capacity, and if they need to add more, they could. And if you don't believe that, then the reality is that Comcast, a lot of their money right now that they're making, their profits, is coming from the internet side. So. Just something to think of. If at some point in time there's some kind of petition out there, you know, online petition or something like that, be paying attention to it. And it does affect you as a photographer, because I bet you if you did a survey of photographers versus non-photographers, we use more internet than the average user because of uploading our photos to Facebook or our websites or SmugMug or
right, or SmugMug or Flickr, where you're going to upload full-size resolutions. You're really going to upload a lot.
Absolutely, and the backing up of all these things. If you start coming with bandwidth caps, you severely hurt us from a backup standpoint. Who, you know, if you can, I have friends in Australia. We have listeners in Australia who have these bandwidth caps that are artificially set, and then things like Crash Plan won't work for them. They have to watch it, and then they can't. You know, I don't know if Netflix is in Australia, but here in the U.S., if you have a bandwidth cap, you can't really watch. You got to be careful about your Netflix watching.
Well, you must have heard then they're talking about with where let's say Netflix can buy through the cable companies better access for their subscribers, which ultimately is going to get passed on to the subscribers. So they would have a tunnel straight to Netflix, so they don't get they don't have issues with their streaming. But that's got to come from somewhere. If Netflix is going to pay for that, we're ultimately going to pay for that, and they're going to want more from all of us. So yeah, it will impact photographers. It's going to impact everybody, I would think.
Yeah, and I know that this, I don't know if anybody in the chat's going to be controversial about it, but somebody listening may be. And I won't stand by high horse much longer, and then I'll stop. But you know, I know that people like AT&T and Charter and Comcast and Time Warner and Verizon have all paid a lot of money to lay out this cable. But remember, they're laying it out over property that's not theirs, that they didn't pay for, that the government allowed them to lay it out. So, and then they're making decent money. If they did this and didn't make money, that would be another thing. And I think that, you know, because Comcast has been accused of limiting Netflix. So when Netflix comes in, they downgrade it, they can see what's going on, and you can go search. You can go search this online, where you have a person who's getting crappy Netflix through Comcast. Then he opens up a VPN tunnel to his office. So going over a same Comcast connection, which you know, adding the VPN overhead should actually give you worse connection. But he goes over a VPN connection to his office and then streams Netflix through that. The VPN should be less quality, but Comcast can't look inside of the VPN connection, so they can't see that it's Netflix. So when he does that, what happens? His Netflix all of a sudden is back to normal, which shows you that Comcast was absolutely downgrading the signal, and then they lie about it. So anyway.
So I missed that. Is that an ongoing thing, or is that already been proven and it's already dealt with?
When you say proven, it's not been proven in a court of law or proven with the FCC. Okay. So someone has done tests and on their own self and have published them online, but they, but you know, Comcast has not come out and said, yeah, we do that and we're going to stop it. Nothing like that. Anyway, okay, enough of my preaching with that. The next thing, you know, our Facebook page is now up to almost 1,160. Facebook group is almost to 1,160 members. So if you're not a member of that, go out there and head out and join us. If you are more of a Google Plus person, We, Seth posts quite often in our Google Plus group, our community, I think is what they call it. So just go in the communities and search for jpeg2RAW. We have 134 people out there now. It's small and slowly growing, but we'd love to have you over there if you are more of a Google Plus person. And then, of course, there's always the forums, which is really just me. But, we'd love to have you over there, too.
All alone. Crickets chirping.
So with that, Seth, you had our main topic for tonight.
Hey, one thing, Mike, as a side note, I'm finally into the website, the live feed.
So there has been, and what Tim's talking about, there has been some issues tonight with the website from certain locations. From my location, and you say, yeah, Mike, it's your website. Well, the website's not hosted in my house or even in my city. It's hosted somewhere else in the country using Bluehost. So for me, the connection's always been good. But for Tim and a few other people, the connection has had some issues. And if I go on to Twitter, by the way, if you're not following us on Twitter, jpeg2RAW on Twitter, follow us on there. And I post some stuff there that I never post anywhere else. But Twitter is a great place to get up to the minute or up to the second information. So I actually have a Bluehost, which is who hosts our website, Bluehost thing I keep pulled up on Twitter. So once people start having issues, I can see. And there were some people posting that they had some issues, and actually they're still posting about it. Now there's 3 people who just said they're back up. So maybe like Tim, it's starting to come back. So hopefully if you try to get in, you're in already. Because once you're at the page, it should be good. It's just getting to it may be a problem.
It's just getting to it that's the problem?
Yeah. And it looks like they're saying on Twitter that it's back up.
That's odd that it was localized.
Yeah, you never know what that issue is. All right. Seth, you had a topic for tonight.
Yeah, I forgot. So let's talk about something else. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, well, basically, I was just talking about what was I talking about? Oh, self-portraits. Remember, we had that as a challenge not too long ago. Was to shoot yourself. Get out from behind the camera, stop hiding behind the camera, take a picture of yourself. We didn't get a whole lot of entries on that. And I don't know if it's maybe because not a lot of people are familiar with good technique to do that, or I think it's possibly a lot of people are just shy, and that's fine too, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Mike or Tim on that one. Where were you guys?
I will tell you that I know that this is a very popular word, and Kaylee called me out on this at one point. This is a very popular word, and I often am on a side where I'm the only one standing there, and that's fine. But okay. I absolutely hate the word selfie.
Selfie, yeah.
And but that wasn't why I didn't enter. Seth.
I didn't use the word selfie.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't. That is not why I didn't enter. In addition to me hating the word selfie, I actually hate photos of myself. So that's part of why I didn't enter. But go ahead.
But you have the skill set to make a wonderful photo of yourself. I believe you have the ability.
I am not that talented.
All right, well, anyway.
I'd like to say he doesn't want to see himself on the internet, but that's kind of not true.
That is true.
Let me see. So if I post a link, which I just posted, will it highlight? Yes, it will. I just posted a link in the group that has 100 really cool self-portraits, not selfies, not this action, but a self-portrait. There's thought and action put in towards it, and you'll see some that you might be familiar with. I mean, one with the camera with the side, that one. Have you seen that? Yeah.
I'm gonna try and pull that up over here on the computer too while you're talking.
Cool, no problem. Yeah, so there are a couple that you've probably seen before. The guy shooting himself with the camera in the head. That one's pretty neat. And there's a Hulk one that I really like, and there's some other stuff that's really, really cool. But in order to do some of these things, sometimes it's kind of difficult because you want to make sure that you have yourself in focus too. Hey, by the way, do you have that one? If I post another link of, let me see, because when I screen share, I know for some reason it doesn't quite work properly. Maybe it's operator error and I'm doing something wrong. I'll admit it. That's okay.
If you put the link out in chat, I can pull it up.
Yeah. Okay. So, hopefully that'll go. So that's that's the most recent one that I did with me and the camera and a couple different like gels and speedlight action. So part of the yeah, cool. Okay, so I see you got the other link, the first link up.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, setting up on a tripod, just going through just regular technique. You know, set your camera up on a tripod. You can't shoot too shallow. Don't expect to get an awesome shot at like f1.4, and you're trying to make sure that you're in the exact spot. It's really not gonna happen. You're huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
You say wait?
No, no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's really not going to happen if you have it that shallow. So, really, the best thing is to set it at like f4 and above. That one that I put on Google Plus, and I think I might have shared it in the group too with me and the orange background. I shot that one at f4. Probably took about 50 shots, and so you gotta mark where you are. You're making a face like something's wrong.
Me?
Yeah. Oh,
No.
Maybe it's a delayed. Yeah, it is a little bit delayed.
No, you keep going. I'm trying to get things set up so I can show what you're talking about.
I can tell that you have focus and determination because it shows all over this facial area.
No, sorry. Keep
so
going.
Anyway, okay. Step 1, camera on tripod. Step 2, put something where you're going to stand. And you can either put something like this, a little focus chart right there so you can get your focus there. But you also, when you remove that, you want to make sure that your focal plane, your eyes and all that stuff, your face is right where that spot was, because it doesn't do you any good to focus on something and then you're not where that something was. So got the thing on the tripod, you set your focus. Next thing you want to do is probably, you can either do a remote or you can do a timer. I have a remote, but I just set a timer and took some shots. I think it was because I couldn't find the remote, because that actually got annoying after a while. It did. And the remotes are so small. I'm like, where did I put that daggone thing? And I don't use it that often.
I have it pulled up now on this is on Google Plus. I have it, the image of you pulled up that you took. I think this is the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, hey, that's me. Look at that guy. What? Looks like a taxi driver with the camera. I take picture. No, never mind. I'm done. I'm stopping.
No, go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, I think I shot that at about f4. It might have actually been. No, I'm pretty sure it was f4. I keep leaning towards saying it was 3, but I don't know. It'll tell you in Google Plus. But anyway.
All right. So
and then
I like
to make
the shot
it dynamic.
of this.
What do you say?
I like the shot. I like the background. What kind of background did you use? Because it's was it a screen?
No, it was actually just a wall. When I do stuff on the fly like that, I pretty much just do it in my kitchen. And this is what I did. The side of me that's most lit, I have a beauty dish up there. I don't know, it's like 16, 20-inch beauty dish with a speed light shooting through. On the other side, you can see there's kind of a blue tinge. I have a blue gel with another speed light, and then I have a third speed light behind me, the background you're talking about. It actually has an orange gel on it. And it's probably like right behind my head.
Okay.
So what color was the wall behind you? White then? Was it a white wall behind you then?
It's an off-white. It's really kind of eggshell. It might be a little darker than eggshell, but with that gel on there, there was, it was nothing. So yeah, great. it just blew it out to orange. So I thought it worked pretty well. I got a bunch of I don't think I really took like 50, but I was just getting different poses and seeing what I felt comfortable with. But
are those
yeah.
Are those flashes that you bought off of Amazon? What were they called? What kind of flashes that you bought?
YN 560, Yongnuo 560. I think they're like I don't know. Nikki was the last person that I convinced to buy one. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think
she bought one, but I think it's like $65, $70 or something like that.
Okay.
So, Let me see, Alicia. Thank you, Alicia. I like it too.
Yeah, I need to pick up a couple of those because I have two Nikon flashes. One of them's broken, and it's probably going to cost me more to fix it than it would just to get a new one like you're talking about.
I tell you what, I have two 560s and I have one 568, and the difference between that, it's a big price jump too. I think it's like $150 for the 568, or is it 586? Yeah, I think it's 568. But it's worth it because it has TTL and it has some other things. Anytime you have TTL, that's gonna hike up the price on a flash.
And you said it's more expensive. Do you remember what the total amount was?
For the 568, I think that was I think it was about $150.
Okay.
And which is pretty dang good because either your Canon or Nikon equivalent is going to be a few hundred.
Yeah, absolutely.
versus that 1.5.
And
so
Nikki actually
I think they work great. Kaylee said, huh?
Nikki said she actually never bought it.
Oh, who was it then? Forget you, Nikki. I thought you were my homie.
I think she came close, but she never bought it. But it looks like Kaylee has bought it. So, Seth, I mean, the framing on this looks really good too. Did you crop it a lot, or did you just a lot of trial and error?
I cropped it some.
Okay.
Well, I cropped it some. I pretty much had it pre-shot because I took a few, so I pretty much knew what my framing was. But since I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be, I just kind of nudged it in post. But speaking of post, what that was Lightroom and Color Effects Pro.
Okay. So let's maybe we can come back to some more technique just in a second, but let me ask you this question.
Sure.
You have a mirror around your house, so you can stare at yourself all day, if you really wanted to. So what reasons would there be to take self-portraits? And I'm looking out there. I know Kaylee has done some.
A couple reasons.
Nikki does. I think Nikki changes her Facebook profile like every other week or maybe twice a week with a new self-portrait.
But she only has 3 pictures.
No, she has more than that. And one of them she did for Halloween.
3 pictures. Nikki, I'm calling you out.
She did one for Halloween that I thought was awesome. And then Kaylee submitted one recently too that was really good. But okay, so for what reasons would a photographer have to do these self-portraits?
Well, there are a couple of things. We were talking pretty recently about the your name photography or using something like intelligent design. Making another name. People do like associating a face with a business or organization or a face with your brand, you as a photographer. And so I don't think you want to hide you as a photographer because 1, it makes people more comfortable, and 2, it gives people the idea that you have personality. You're sharing your personality with your client and with your potential clients. And so, someone might see that funky orange picture and they're like, this guy's kind of quirky. He might be fun to work with or whatever, or this guy looks like a creeper with his hat on and the camera over his shoulder. I'm not going to mess with him. No, but I think it's good. I think it's good to get out from behind the camera because people do want to see you. Whether or not you like to take pictures, real estate agents all have pictures of themselves.
Well, and
most of them don't look good.
Going back to, I'm sitting here playing with this thing that I got today in the mail. If you're wondering what is Mike doing, this is something.
That's a probe. You said it was a probe in pre-show.
It's. I guess it could act that way, but it's what it's meant for is a GoPro that hopefully I'll be getting at some point. But it's just something now that I have in my hands I can't let go. But anyway, a few weeks back or maybe a month or so back, we had Zach Prez on. And remember him talking about, he had on his website, I think he has on the footer section of his website, a photo of himself, a nice photo of himself. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he took it himself or had somebody else take it, but like you were just saying, and Kaylee said out in chat, is, to have it on your website, your professional website where you're wanting people to come in and hire you. They're going to see you eventually, so you can't hide. Even if you're like me, you think that you don't want to be in a picture. If you're wanting people to hire you, they're going to see you. So you're going to have to get past that, and when they see you, you're going to be however you are. With a self-portrait, you can, like Seth just did, he actually made himself look good in that picture.
Hey, I tried really hard.
Made himself look good. Wow, that's That's a quote right there.
All right.
But even beyond just the professional thing, let me see. Can I give you one more link here?
Absolutely.
All right. Let me see how well this will go. Should go pretty well. Oh yeah. This one's perfect. Okay, so even beyond just your professional appearance, sometimes you want to have a picture with your pro camera or your whatever level camera, and you're posing with family or something like that. You need to be able to know how to make that happen. I just posted one of me and my son, in the in the forum. I mean, in the in chat.
Yep, I got.
And I think if you could and that's the one that I almost submitted for the self one.
Okay.
But I didn't quite get there. If you go one or two over, I think there's one of us both looking in the camera, and that was pretty cool.
All right, so for this one, you call it a self-portrait, even though it's got your son in it. And when I look at the photo, I look straight at him.
Me.
I look mini me. I look straight at him, and then later I notice you're there.
That's actually part of the reason that I didn't submit it that month.
Okay. So, but this one is you're actually the one taking a picture because you have it on a timer off to your left. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I might have been using I wasn't using a remote because obviously I have my other camera in the other hand. So, but we have a few of those, and just funsy stuff like that. I think I'm gonna have a print of that. I just keep forgetting to do it, but anyway, that kind of thing. What did I do? I think I focused on a certain point of the blinds where the blinds were. And then I stood parallel with that with the camera tripod on a tripod.
Yeah, and I don't know how well this is going to come through what we're showing now, but the one I'm looking at here, you must have had a pretty shallow depth of field because your camera that you're holding in front of you is out of focus. Your son who's behind you is out of focus, but your eye, that side of your face where your eye is fairly well, as far as I can tell, is in sharp focus. So you may have had what, 2 inches or so, or maybe 3 inches there of
and I remember that one. That one I shot less than 2. I think that one might have been either 1.8 or 1.4. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, that one was pretty shallow. That was on my 85 millimeter.
I do now know why all your photos look like junk, because that's how you hold your camera. You're supposed to
look at this guy.
You're supposed to,
holding it half a foot away from his face.
So tip for everybody.
My left hand, so I have no possibility of hitting the shutter.
Tip for everybody: you actually have to put it up against your face.
Well, I was posing. I was getting my model on, as they say.
Yeah, no, I like this.
Quote.
I like this image. You're just framing and looking at what shots you want to take. That's what you're doing. You're looking at the scene through the camera. Did you get this one?
Or peeping at a neighbor. Take it however you want.
Okay. Well,
I'm just kidding.
That's awesome. You're doing that holding your son,
Teaching him right from the beginning.
Here's how you do it, son.
No, that's good.
Next time, don't do it through the blinds though, because you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So did you get this one first try?
Heck no. See, actually, I was actually trying to. Let me see. I think I only took about 6 or 7. It was a far cry from the 50 because I was trying to do crazy stuff with flashes for that last one. But on this one, I think I took 6 or 7, somewhere around 10 photos. And the first few are just me. And then my son woke up and I was like, well, I already have the camera up. Might as well take a few more. And that's pretty much how that happened. So the picture of him leaning on my shoulder is actually, he's still waking up.
Well, I was going to say you couldn't get too many pictures because I can't imagine your son staying still too long for those.
Yeah,
poses. You take more than a dozen, and I know my son or daughter would be like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah.
No, my guy's hilarious because he'll say cheese, and then I took one. He'll pose for the camera. Long story short, he likes the camera. He knows what Dad does.
My daughter now at 19 months old, I take a picture of her and immediately she comes running to look at the picture on the back of the camera.
Oh yeah? See, you're training her. You got her.
Immediately she comes running over.
So next question says, how many photos do you take of yourself a day?
No more than 10.
Okay. And maybe this might have, I think this is the one you submitted, right? The one I have up now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So, okay. So how do you find what angle is good for yourself? Because, maybe Sess, you think every angle is good for you, but for somebody else, any suggestions on angles or anything like that?
I'm a trained Air Force broadcaster, so I am supposed to know what angle looks best on me. But
Okay.
no, just kind of playing around, shooting. I don't really know. That's a pretty good question. I mean, you have to find what you're comfortable with and what you feel really kind of represents you. So
Yeah.
I guess you don't really know until you try. There's not a magic kind of one fits all angle.
Well, would it be useful to have different pictures taken of you, different angles, have somebody else do it as opposed to doing a self-portrait to see what side is your better side? I mean, you hear everybody say,
generally,
this is my better side. Well, you don't know until you've seen your sides.
Yeah, well, how do you know? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you kind of play with both sides, but I would say generally, any side that's like not straight on or absolute sideways, I really like, when I shoot a photo of someone to get both eyes, even if it's, the other eye is just kind of peeking. I like that. Well, that's part of my video training as well. But just pretty much anything that's like not straight on. But straight on can look cool, but I think it gives more if you just put a little angle there.
Going back and thinking about the Facebook challenge that we did, maybe people did this and I just didn't. But the link that you put out there with the 100 great self-portraits, I've been looking through a few of those as we're talking, and it doesn't always have to be full frontal. It can be
half face.
It can be half face like we have here, and probably been a good idea to like post a link in. It's too late now, hindsight here, but it'd been nice to post the link, and I just broke this thing.
Well, I can post it again. I mean, that's where you got the link from.
No, I have it. But I'm saying when we had the photo challenge, it'd have been nice if I had this link and say, "Hey, here's some ideas," because
you know what, we could actually start doing that. Just find good samples and say, "Hey, this is something to play with. Have fun."
Yeah, and some of the ones I like the best. I would never do that. I guess here's the thing: is you're taking self-portraits. You can take as many goofy ones, as many bad ones, whatever else you want. No one else has to see them. No one has to know they even exist. But you.
Yeah. And like I said, I took about somewhere around 50 when I was playing with the speed lights, and I posted one. I actually posted a couple because I submitted a couple as stock photos, and they got accepted, which was neat.
Oh, there's some names out here that I know.
Yeah, see, I really like that one. The one with the flare, the light flare. And half of his face drops to shadow. I think that's cool. That's such a cool shot.
Yeah, there was one earlier, the Unabomber.
Did you see the one? There's one on here where it's half of this guy's face and the other half is a bill, like it's Abraham Lincoln.
No, I didn't see that. No, there's legs.
Maybe it's still coming up.
Yeah, looking at this, there's a lot of ways you can do self-portraits. Some people, that's what they do. They just photograph themselves.
Yeah, there are some photographers, and that Superman one, I've seen that one so many times, just different places. Some of these are some really popular ones, yeah. So that one's pretty awesome.
But some of these you wouldn't even realize they're self-portraits.
We got a train track one. I probably shouldn't show this one, but no hate mail.
Oh boy.
We're gonna do a show. We're gonna do a show on trains.
Moving
at
on.
Some point. Well, that's cool. Here's a guy with I don't know what the plant's called.
Dandelion.
Where you can blow it and fly in the air.
Yeah, looks like a dandelion.
Yeah, looks like his hair on one side is real and the other one's dandelion. That's awesome. So, oh crap! Another train one. Keep going.
It's okay.
There's a train coming in that one.
Really?
Now I like the.
No. Sorry.
Was it really?
Those
Are you
smoke.
serious?
No, it was a
No.
light. It looked like smoke when he skipped
Okay.
through it.
And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
about to come up to the one you were talking about. Here's one with the a bunch of lines in the face, weathered face.
Lines.
Weathered face, yeah. And
Yeah.
there's the bill one you're talking about.
Have you heard of the yeah, that's the Bill one, and I thought that was really creative. It's half not him. Is it really a self-portrait? But look at how how well it's lined up with the face. I wonder if I think he probably, made that two separate shots and then lined it up, because
I would
that's
agree.
done, huh?
I would agree.
Yeah, that's done way too well. It's nice.
Yeah, that's gotta be post processing because
Yeah, it's a composite. I would
yeah.
But regardless, it's a cool idea.
think.
Ooh,
This
I
one
like-
with the lights on the face is pretty cool.
I like this one. I could see Nikki doing one like this.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, scroll up just a little bit. I think like 3 photos ago, there's the weathered face guy.
Yeah.
And okay, so have you guys heard of the either the dragon effect or drag-on effect? Have you heard of that?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
No, I have not.
Okay, well that's basically what's going on here, where it's kind of like it's almost like an HDR of a person's face, which people have done, and that looks pretty neat. But just kind of I don't know. I think the wrinkles and stuff are kind of accentuated. The detail is brought out in the eyes, and that it's a really gritty look. You'll have to kind of Google it for people that don't know. But
Yeah, and it's not dragon like Puff the Magic Dragon.
It's AN, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an effect that it's like you said, it's similar to this. It's I like it on certain faces. It works well on weathered faces like this one does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
we have to
Cool.
find somebody who knows how to do that really well, because it is an involved step. It's not like
yeah, there's a lot to it with yeah.
it's not just you run an action and you're done. It's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
here's
there are a lot
here's
of
probably
really
one of the most
creative
famous
things.
ones
There
I
you
know
go.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking. Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most famous ones.
Of course, none of these are ours. We'll have the link in the show notes on this website.
Yeah.
All right. I know we used to
I
have.
like the Hulk one. You see the Hulk one coming up?
Yeah, we used to have Robert and I can't remember the other guy's name. 2 brothers out in our Cochrane or something like that. I think that one of the ones won our very first photo challenge. They did a lot of self portraits. They don't post very much in the group anymore, but they do every now and then.
Mitchell? It was Mitchell Cochran.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he banged out some pretty cool, composite self portraits. Yeah.
And Nikki is back in chat. So all that talking I did of her a minute ago, she missed it.
No, she got it. She saw it.
Oh.
she said sound was
commented
out.
on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What just
but-
happened to the sound?
You got a picture coming up of this guy in the mirror. That is a great effect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. That was like one of my favorite things to do as a kid. Just kind of like, I wonder if I could reach into there. And then I saw Poltergeist and I was like, no way. That's cool. And I like what she did that last one up with the flash right behind her, kind of highlight the hair, the one
Yeah.
above the redhead.
Yeah, that one right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, really brought out those eyes too.
So what we should all do, so even though there's not a challenge, is go out there and take some self-portraits, some creative self-portraits, and post them into the Facebook group or the Google
Now,
Plus.
I have
Google
one more
Plus.
technique thing that might help some people.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so let me pop this off the tripod. So I shot some video today, and I thought I'd just leave the field monitor on, because it's a really cool way to kind of check yourself out and see if you're in focus.
Field monitor.
On top of my camera here.
Tell us about that first.
Okay, no problem. Let me see. So right here in the back, there's a little HDMI port.
Yep.
And then on the side of my 5D, there's also an HDMI port right over here somewhere. So you can plug up your field recorder if you have one, or just a monitor, a computer monitor, So this is a, yeah, you can plug up your field monitor and basically it'll show you whatever you would see in live view. So I turn my camera on to live view.
In a bigger monitor. That's the big.
But in a bigger monitor, exactly. So you can, you can see whether you're in focus. You can monitor how your shot looks. So I typically use it for my video projects. I didn't use it for that last self-portrait because I was a dummy and I really wanted to shoot 50 shots to get one that I liked, I guess. So, but no, this thing helps out. This thing helps out a lot with just being able to see what your camera sees. So
what size is that? About 5-6 inches?
7-inch HD camera monitor.
Oh, that's a nice size.
Yeah. This is a Lilliput. This was 200. I like it except for one super major thing. There's no headphone jack. And that annoys the heck out of me. I mean, it's still cool for doing the self-portrait thing or whatever, but
now does it have its own? I assume it's got its own battery supply. It's not draining the cameras.
It does, yeah. It has its own battery, or you can run it off of AC power. You can plug it into the wall. I think I don't know if I said that, but I think this monitor was like 200 or something like that. Which is there are better recorders. I'm sorry, monitors. There are better monitors that cost a lot more, and then there are cheaper monitors that cost a little less. I wouldn't recommend those. But if your regular computer monitor or your TV, I've done this before, you could plug up to your TV via HDMI and use that as a monitor as well, and that can be fun.
Yeah,
so there are a few
Amazon's showing a 7-inch from Lilliput for $189, another one for I guess 2013 models for $279. I'll put those in chat as well.
So I think I might have the 189 version, and it was probably a little bit more back when I bought it.
And it's an IPS monitor, which is pretty interesting. So that's pretty good.
Here we go. So yeah, it's cool, and the battery lasts a little while. Great for video again, and it has some still photo use as well.
And I'm gonna have to listen back to everything you said because I was checking out something while you were doing that and missed it all. But don't go back on me. I'll re-listen to the show later. So I interrupted you on what you were going to say when I saw that monitor and wanted you to talk about it, and then of course I missed the whole thing. But go ahead with
it's a cool doohickey.
Okay. Go ahead with what you were going to say about another tip.
I think that was it.
Yeah, you utilizing the monitor.
Yeah, utilizing the monitor to make sure that you're in focus. You can actually see in live view whether you're in focus or not.
He says, just so you know, looking at the newer model from 2013, and I'll put it in the chat. It's got a headphone jack on it right on the front of it. Yeah,
and I'm gonna upgrade. It's gonna happen soon. But I've gotten around it with secondary audio and tertiary, just different stuff. So I've kind of made it happen, but I want to avoid that in the future.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me see, field recorder, if you have the money for it. If you don't, that's okay. You can plug up to a regular monitor or TV that you have if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. You can go to the internet and print off a focus chart, little piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a specific color. It just has to have enough on there to where you can see where the focus is. And there's stuff that's more detailed in this. I really like the ones where it has the circles in the corners. I like the ones that have the colors on them and that has other measurements and stuff. I think that's really important. But obviously you need a tripod, and don't try to shoot super shallow unless you have a lot of patience for it. You can do it. You just have to have patience for it, or really, really plan it well.
Okay.
That's pretty much all I got.
No, that was good. That's good. And we used up more time than I thought we would use. So I have a few closing things. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do a few closing things. Then I'm going to end the recorded portion of the show that will get published. And then I'm going to post the link for the Hangout into the Facebook group. And anybody who wants to join us to just chat for a little bit, you can come in for 5 minutes and leave. Eventually, Seth, Tim, and I will eventually back out ourselves at some point. So we're not going to do this for hours on end. But, if you want to join in and just chat for a little bit, we can do that. If no one joins after a certain amount of time, we'll go ahead and end it and leave ourselves. So it's up to you guys. But so let me say a few closing remarks. And, Tim, something happened right before we went live. So I haven't been able to put it into the calendar yet. Because I do, as soon as I book somebody, I put it in the calendar. But I had 2 guests confirm or as much as they could, confirm right before the show went live on the show date. So one is in March, and it's going to be our second boudoir show.
Oh,
this time.
I guess we're going to get a lot of people for that show.
Get a lot of people on that one.
This one is going to be a female photographer. So we will have her March 25th. She's going to be on the show. And we're still working out a couple of details on that, doing a pre-show and all that kind of stuff. And then Mark Johnson, if you remember, he came on with what was that technique he had?
That was I remember exactly. He was I don't want to call him the adventure photographer, right? He's
cinematography or something like that. The photos cinemagraphs, the photos that have the moving stuff in them. Mark Johnson, that was the Mark Johnson. You're thinking of I can't remember his name. Jim Davis. No, yes. Michael Clark. You're thinking of Michael Clark.
Yes, Michael Clark.
Okay. So Mark Johnson was going to come back and do composites, do a walkthrough on a composite for us. And right before he was supposed to come, about a month before he was supposed to come back, all those floods happened out in Colorado, and his house was severely damaged and just a lot of issues. So he had to postpone, and we're trying to book something toward the end of May. He's told me a date, but it's still a little bit tentative. So we may have him toward the end of May to come back and talk about that, depending on what's happening with him, because this whole disaster has messed him up, a lot, and trying to get everything back in line, professionally and personally and all that kind of stuff. And of course, a podcast is not on the top of the list there, but he's been very gracious about it and doing a ding ding ding. I don't know what that means out in chat, but
I was looking at that. I don't know.
He's going to come back and walk us through that.
I'm going to guess that was the boudoir.
Oh, boudoir, yes.
By that point.
Oh.
If you want to see who I'm talking about, she is a member of our jpeg2RAW boudoir group on Facebook. We do have a boudoir group on Facebook. It's not very active, but she's a member in that group. And she found us through the first boudoir show we did. So she's going to be a guest March 25th. And we have Kathleen coming back, I think next month. Yeah, next month coming back. To do as a guest, not as a co-host, but as a guest to talk about something.
Cool.
So with that, don't forget to enter into the contest for this month. You got 10 days left because this is February. I keep saying contest, but it's a challenge. Enter the challenge this month, which is HDR. We could, if you have trouble with HDR, if you're wondering how to do it, ask questions out in our Facebook group, or we can even do a hangout and talk about it in more detail if you want to. Don't forget to use our Amazon link. For the last 3 months, we have lost money, meaning the gift that we give out was more than the money we made. So all you got to do is when you go to Amazon, before you go to Amazon, www.jpeg2RAW.com/Amazon, and then we get a small credit. Doesn't add anything to your cost. We get a small credit, and we pass 100% of that on. We did have a small buffer, so we're eating that buffer away, and at some point, when that buffer is completely gone, we'll have to not have these things, not have the cash award, and just wait to build up some more. So, try and remember to do that. It doesn't add anything to your cost, but it does help us out a little bit. If we ever get a bunch, then we can actually, instead of just doing the $25 that we do gift card that we do each month with the challenge, we can actually do a giveaway, which is where I'd like to do it. I'd like to be able to give away something.
You want to give away a 5D and an iPad 5.
We're a ways from that. We're a ways from that.
I didn't even know there was an iPad 5 out.
There's not, but there will be. It's probably going to have a hologram on it and maybe a belt clip.
All right, and the other thing, Brian, I'll never say his name right, out in the Facebook group, had mentioned something, and I had started something like this before. I had started a second show that was called JPEG Tips and Tricks or something like that, and I did like three screen captures and never really got it off and going. But Brian had mentioned, hey, let's do a user review thing. So I have set up a post on our site where you can go in and you say what you want to talk about. You say what you want, your dates that you're available, all this stuff. It's a form that you'll fill out where we're going to kind of coordinate stuff. Where let's say you own that thing that Seth just had, that video thing he just had, and he wants to do a user review because he's used it. This needs to be something you still have. It's not something like you're going to talk in theory. You're going to talk about something you currently have and show it to us. And we can you'll log on to this thing, sign up what you want to talk about and when is a good time for you to talk about it. And then we'll do a non-live thing where you and I just hook up. We record it. We want the end product to be no more than 10 minutes. It can be less than 10 minutes. If it's longer than that, we'll probably have to split it, but I want the final result that goes out to be less than 10 minutes. We can do that. We have more options to do that because it's not live. So I can't do it obviously Tuesday nights, but most every other night is available where we can get on. We can do multiple takes if we need to. You talk about it, then I will put it on on YouTube and put it out through its own stream on iTunes and everything else. What do you think?
Cool.
So Seth,
sounds good. Hey, I had a quick question about that actually.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a specific product, or can it be like a type of product? Like I have this field monitor and I like it because of this reason, and I suggest other field monitors because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I'd rather talk about something you really own. If you want to talk about the disadvantages of what you're wanting to look at next, that's fine. But I'm thinking more that the review will be, and let's talk about it's not just reviews. It may be a demo. Maybe a review and a demo is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be the same thing, or it could be a technique. One of the things Kathleen has posted a few images on our Facebook group. I'd like for her to come on to this thing and just do me a walkthrough. Let's record how you did that edit. And so it could be an editing technique, a photography technique, something like that. So tips, tricks, techniques, demos, reviews. What is this? Next meeting is in 5 minutes. Y'all just get that pop up?
I think I did. Got a little blue something.
Who's assigned us to another? Who assigned us to another meeting? I don't know what that is. But anyway, it'll be something like that. We'll have to play it by ear and move along. But the fact that we're not doing it live gives us a lot of leeway on how we can do this, and we'll build up a little repository. It'll be good to hear from people who actually use these products day in and day out. A lot of reviewers get it. This is sad, but what a lot of reviewers do is they go to Best Buy or wherever they go to, they buy it, they come home, they review it, and then take it back and get store credit because they say something's wrong with it or they didn't like it. And really, they intended to do that all along. Some of them get the companies to give it to them, but a lot of them do what I just talked about. But
that's what you do for prom. You get the shoes that you want, and you take them back the next day. All right?
I can't imagine the way you dance, says that they could ever go back. They're probably worn out.
What can I say?
I know some reviewers who do what I just said, but what I want to hear from is people who've used it for a while. Like for me, not with this because I just got this today, but and I'm about to break it, but all the playing I've done with it. But like the what do you call it, the Black Rapid, I've used that a lot. So I use that. I continue to use it, and that's something I could talk about, and give a honest feedback.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can give a feedback between that, and I had the spider attachment. I think it's the spider for carrying it as a holster, and I didn't like it compared to the Black Rabbit when I got it.
Yeah, this does not have to be a review where you like everything. This could be a review, and some people says you might think, well, I've got that attachment you just had on your camera. I've got these flashes. I've got these other things. Those can be multiple sessions. We could do one a month with you or something like that. This will not be every Tuesday something's going to come out. This will be as we have people do it. But I think over time we can build up a library of reviews and tips and tricks that could be helpful to people in our community.
Yeah, like Dean Stone was saying, I don't know if you saw that, but he said Mike Coletta posted in Facebook 2 photos showing a before and after, and that Dean would like to know how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike is a friend of mine. He's been on the show twice, so I can try and hook him up with one of those things too. The fact that if you come on and you're ready to go, what I don't want you to do is come on and say all right, I don't have any of the gear here. My camera's not working. Oh, do I need a camera? There's some things like that you're gonna need to do in the front end and be somewhat ready to go. You don't need a script, but you need to have your thoughts collected. And with Mike, I'm sure I can have Mike come on and do that, and we can knock that thing out in 20 minutes, and he'll be able to do a great job with it. Mike is very willing to share his techniques. He's a really nice person and a very talented photographer. Okay. Cool. Anything else? All right.
I like the new things that you have on the website with the Facebook and Twitter. The social stuff pops out. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. Every once in a while I go by it and it pops out like the little Twitter feed and everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've making some slight changes. I was going to change themes again, and then I decided no, I'm going to stick with this one and just make it work. So I've made some changes to the front page. I've made some changes to this page, and I've added those things. And I'm going back and forth where you got to click on them to make them do something. And then also where they pop out on their own, and I've not decided which one I like the best. So if you got ideas,
I like the pop out because if it didn't pop out, I may not have even seen it there on the side.
Okay, so I'll leave it as a pop out for now. But yeah, making some slight changes. I've made the front page where it's full width and it's not even. I used to have the ads and stuff on the side, so I got rid of all that kind of stuff. So, yep, trying to gradually make some improvements.
Cool.
Speaking of Facebook, I was looking earlier at the HDR pictures. I wonder if it would be good if people would submit also the picture of what it looked like in camera before any editing, before the HDR effect was applied to it. So you could see the before and after kind of this is the HDR shot, but this is what the camera would have selected.
I don't know if you probably can't do that in the album that we created. Also, we get confusing on which one I'm supposed to vote for. But maybe we could ask the 3 finalists to share with us.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
Yep. All right, well, let's go ahead and end this because we've gone like the whole hour, and we only thought we'd go 30 minutes. But everybody out in chat, thank you for hanging around with us. I will post, if you go into the Facebook group in just about 3 minutes, I will post in the Facebook group the link here, and then you can join in if you want to. But until next week, keep it raw. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.